All right, this video is my advice to Indians who are based in India on what to do in order to get a job, in order to have a career, and in order to have a future. Okay, I will share with you my views and you can tell me if you agree or disagree with me. Okay, now how did this topic come to be was a few days ago. I had this client. Obviously, I'll not give you his private details, but I had this client, young man who finished his master's from a decent college. He's from upper middle class, which is how he was able to afford my services. And he took my services for personal branding, how to stand out in terms of how to position himself in the market and all these basic stuff. But then he also asked me about career-based advice and future. Okay. Now, after I finished all that, he requested, sir, can you make a video where you can give me some more bits of advice on how to get a job, how to survive, how to sustain, what to do. So I said, fine. Okay. So I gave him specific advice. This is a follow-up to that session, which I think will add value to you. Now, this video is considering the assumption that you are finding it hard to get a job or finding it hard to get a worthwhile job. You are confused as to what to do and you are qualified. You have the qualifications, but still you're finding it hard to survive and sustain. Okay, so this is the premise. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points that I want to share with you. Now understand this much. India, the biggest problem that is there in India, biggest problem is the number of people who, the overpopulation that there is. It's not just the overpopulation, it's a number of graduates that come out of college every single year. Let's say 100,000 graduating. I'm just giving you a figure. 100,000 are graduating every year. But then you'll not have 100,000 jobs being created every year. If 100,000 graduates are there, the jobs may be 10,000, 20,000. It will not go more than the number of graduates. And then the second problem is, okay, you graduated. Now, how many junior level jobs are available? Hardly anything. There are so many of them who keep saying, so I'm working as an intern, I'm working for free. But then there are also so many jobs only that you can get. But then the rest of them will be unemployed. So what do you do? Then people, what they do is they start moving. Okay, in my city, there's no job. I'll go to another city. I'll go from Mumbai, I'll go to Madras. From Madras, I'll go to Bangalore. From Bangalore, I'll go to Gujarat or wherever. Okay. Now, the problem here is, number one, there are very few jobs. Number two is there are too many candidates. Number three is the salaries that they pay and the value of the Indian rupee. The purchasing power is very low. Expenses are high, purchasing power is low. So given all these problems, the first thing which I tell people is, if you honestly want my advice, you need to get out of India. Now, the minute I say that, many people are like, hey, this is not everyone can afford to get out of India, which is true. There are other people who are like, oh, what do you mean, man? There's no good jobs in India. You're being a traitor. Okay, this is anti-national. If you want to change India, be in India. I totally agree with you. You want to change India, you be in India. But then, how can you change the system? That's my question to you. How can you change the system? Can you change, let's say, a government or ministry, they are corrupted. Those people who are in those jobs or positions of power, can you change them? Can you change corruption? Can you change bribery? Can you change people who are trying to cheat the system? Can you change all of them? No, you can only change yourself. So how can one person change the entire system? You can't change. And do you have the resources where you can change all of them? Do you have the time? Do you have the qualifications? Do you have the connections? No. So if you want to be a revolutionary leader like Subhash Chandra Bose or Mahatma Gandhi and all that, fine. Hats off to you. But if you don't have money, you don't have time, you don't have resources, you don't have the energy, and you don't have the capacity, then the only thing you can do is change yourself. And either you blend in, and if you still can't do that, then you have to get out. Why do you think I moved from Dubai to Thailand? Why didn't I go to India? Because I knew for a fact I can't fight against the system. See, my appearance, many people say, hey, what is this crap on your face? What is shit on your face? You're absolutely right. For a typical Indian audience, if I were to go to some place in India, they'll all look at me, hey, who's this weirdo? Who's this Star Wars Spider-Man or WWE guy? Or, they would look at mentally and, they would say all these things, which is perfectly fine. Why? Because they are not wrong. They are perfectly right. This is not acceptable. Okay. But then let's assume I didn't have any of these tattoos. I look like a normal, typical Indian. But then what would make me stand out? Nothing. They would ask me, where is your India-based experience? Which I didn't have. I had Dubai-based experience. And then if I had to start from scratch, I would be in the same problem you're in. The number of people to compete with. It becomes, it becomes so difficult to survive in India. So difficult, so challenging. That is why I tell people, if you can survive in Mumbai or you can survive in Delhi, I tell people, you can survive anywhere in the world. It is so tough. Even getting a rickshaw, even getting a taxi, even traveling to train is sometimes like, you don't know whether you live or die. It is that difficult. There are so many people who have to travel to work. Literally take 1 to 2 hours just to get to work. And by the time you reach work, you're exhausted because of the population. So the first one which I tell people is you need to get out of India. So if you were to, the lakhs of rupees or the hundreds of thousands of rupees that you spend for a college, better than that, research which country where you can study, okay, and you can get a skill or a technical skill which will prove useful in that country. Go and study there, learn that skill while working as an intern, while working extra hours, while working after college, whatever, so that you can prove to be useful and you can survive. So in India, where there are 10,000 people applying per job, there you'll have maybe 500 people applying per job. And there are countries around the world where population is less. They need people to come in. So you're much better off going to a place like this. And remember, it only takes research. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Whether you want to go to Malaysia, Singapore, Dubai, Canada, whichever country, Australia, USA is very tough. So figure out where you want to go. Now, this is very important. This is very, very important, what I'm going to share with you next. Please don't view migration or traveling outside India as a solution to all your problems. Don't view it as escapism. Oh, if I get out of India, my life is going to be so much more easier. No, that is escapism. You're just looking to get away from one problem. Remember, you get away from one problem, you'll move into another problem. Every country has its own challenges. Nothing is going to be easy. If you go to Canada, if you go to Australia, don't think that you are suddenly going to get into paradise. You can check the number of videos online. How many Indians are just polluting the place, where they don't have the skill, they don't have the capacity to communicate, they don't have the personality, they don't have the manners, they don't have the thinking, they don't have anything that will help them survive. They go, I'm from India, I want get job, I want Canada, No, you'll not survive, man. You need to have the basics, the fundamental basics in order to survive. The attitude, the approach, the communication skills, the personality, the sellability, the likability. You need to have all these things, not just a dummy degree. You need to have practical, value-based skills in order to survive. Okay? So don't view as, oh, I couldn't survive in India, I'll go there, life will be easy. No, there's no such thing as an easy way out. Don't look at escapism. Don't look at, I'll escape from here and enjoy my life. Even there are so many people who tell me, I want to come to Thailand. Why? Oh, I want to be like you, just relax and nature and just, have no stress. My dear, I have certain skills which you do not have. I have the ability to sell, market, talk, You don't have those skills. You need to have those skills. Like even this aspect of talking, I make videos. I've been speaking for almost 30 years of my life. You need to sharpen these skills. You need to know how to sell. You need to know how to market. You need to have expertise. You need to have knowledge, not just reading and mugging up information, practical experiences, so many things. You cannot do what I'm doing, just as I cannot do what you're doing. So don't look at, oh, it's going to be easy. No, there'll be lots of challenges. And if you're not mentally prepared, mentally, emotionally, in every way, you'll not survive. And keep in mind, when you travel to another country, you'll not have friends, you'll not have people who know you, you'll not have people who speak your language, you'll not have people who eat what you eat, live the way you live. You'll be in a totally different place and maybe you'll die of boredom or loneliness. Keep that also in mind. So there are a new set of challenges. Don't look at life as escapism. When you go to a new country, there'll be a new set of challenges. So the first one is, like I said, you need to get out of India, find out which place you can actually settle down. And people always say, which country do you recommend? My dear, I do not know you, your profile, your earning capacity, your savings. Go to a country where they make it easy for you to come there, easy for you to study, get a job, where you can afford. Don't go to a country where you cannot afford to stay, you cannot work, and after you finish your education, they'll throw you back. Then you're once again in no man's land. Okay, next one. You must, I've written down the points, I'm looking at it. You must, this is very important for our Indians, you must change your mindset. You must change your attitude. You must change the way you think. So many of our Indians, they get out of India, but they cannot get out of that Indian mentality. That is why Indian tourists, so many of them have such a pathetic and bad name. It's like you cannot take out the Indian in them. They will still bargain. They will still act cheap. They'll still be smelly. They'll be stinky. They'll not have good grooming habits. They'll always have like, they will, speak in their native tongue in front of foreigners. They'll give bad words. Arey, iski maa ki, iski behan ki. This is not acceptable, boss. You have to change your attitude. You have to change your mindset. You have to change the way you are. You cannot be the same person that was in India going to another place and expect people to take you seriously or they are not going to change. You have to change. I have so many decision makers based in Canada, based in US, based in UK. They are totally disgusted with some of our Indians who come there. I mean, you don't have basic manners. You don't have the basic grooming skills. It is unacceptable. You can't, be shabby or don't know how to talk. Some of them don't even know how to communicate. Which comes to the next point. You must be acceptable to others. And for that, grooming is must. And by grooming, I don't mean put a gel and try to look like a film star. No. Your body odor, clean habits of, I don't know, whether it's brushing your teeth or trimming your body hair, not to look like a Planet of the Apes character or for example, if everyone has clean shaven and you're the only guy with a beard, well, guess what? You'll stand out like a sore thumb. Like just think, for example, I'm giving a small example. Everyone is clean shaven. And here you have one guy who is a Muslim, let's say is a mutawa. He grows a very long beard. Okay. And everyone else is shaking hand. He says, sorry, in Islam, not allowed to touch. So you're not blending in. Then don't blame people if they, look at you funny or treat you funny. You must blend in with others. There are so many of these people who come from Arab countries who are Muslims. And we have seen this. I think this was in Sweden where they sworn in the doctor and his wife. And when the governor or someone went to shake hands, the wife said, sorry, no, in Islam it is not allowed. You cannot touch me. And he was so embarrassed in front of everyone. He was like, I don't think then you should be given a citizenship. You have not blended into our culture. You want us to blend to yours? So, as someone who's a foreigner, you must blend in. or just like these tattoos, they stand out like a sore thumb. You're going to stand out. So unless and until you're going to work remote with not meeting anyone, sit in front of, let's say, a Zoom call and serve people, you must blend in with others. So grooming is very important. So before that was your mental and emotional states, the way you think, your attitude. Grooming, very, very important. Okay. The next one is you must learn to communicate. You cannot see, I'm not trying to imply that your English has to be perfect. You cannot come there and please don't try to put on an accent. It's so obvious. There are so many, even I know friends and even some far distant family members, just because they're staying in Canada or Australia or US or something, hi, how are you, Loy? Hey, what's going on, man? You know, what's going, are you chilling? Why are you putting on an accent? Because they try to put on an accent when they're outside, but when you talk to them one-to-one, there's no accent. So I ask them, why are you faking it, man? People can see through it. So I'm not asking you to put on an accent. I'm saying communicate properly. Open your mouth, articulate, move your lips, move your jaw, talk properly. I have given a simple solution. Where is that? Where's a pen? You put a pen or a pencil. I don't have it here. Others that I showed it to you. You put a pencil or a pen. I don't have it here. Okay. And lock it behind your jaw. This is how I train public speaking. I train my students. And you clench it with your jaw and then you try speaking. So it forces you to move your lips. It forces you to move your tongue and articulate. Don't swallow it. Hello, sir. How are you? Fine, sir. Okay, sir. And yeah, this nodding. Don't. There's, people make fun of our Indians because they tend to do this. All right. So communicate properly. And if you can communicate and share your ideas and your thoughts in an acceptable manner, people, at least if they may not agree with you, but at least they'll understand you. If you just say, sir, okay, sir, okay, you say something and you swallow the words and they can't understand, they will keep away from you, man. So learn to communicate and understand that people abroad have an accent. They understand words in a certain way. You have to pay attention, you have to observe, and you have to know how to communicate. And in order for this to happen, you cannot be clannish. In India, let's say, for example, you're a Muslim, you'll hang out with Muslim friends. I'm just giving an example. Let's say you're North Indian, you'll hang around with North Indian guys. You are Hindu, you'll be with only Hindus. You are, let's say, even in college, guys who are commerce students, they'll hang out with commerce students, arts, So, but here, if you go abroad, you can't seek, oh, I'm abroad, I will only keep Indian friends. Oh, I'll keep only Muslim friends. If you do that, there's no growth. You must have an open mind where you mix with different nationalities, different people from different religions, different backgrounds, and understand this much, that you are not right always. You will have an opinion. You will have a belief system that is right for you and your group back home in India. But when you go abroad, you need to expand your horizons, your thinking, the way you are with people. Okay. Like, for example, there are so many people who see these videos, Chinese videos. Oh, they're eating this, they're eating that, insects and dogs and cats, and they yuck, and all that. Do you know how many people look at India and Indian videos and say, yuck, and smelly, oh, the curry and all that. So just as you don't like people pointing fingers at you and making fun of how you eat and how you live, eating with your hand and, the curry smell and all, you don't like that, then don't make fun of others. Filipinos, Chinese, Thai, they eat different, they live different. For them, they don't find their culture or tradition disgusting. You might find it. In the same way, they find your culture odd, different, and disgusting. Do you understand? So, understand this fact that you're not the center of the universe, your culture, your country, your religion, your belief systems. So when you go somewhere, go there with an open mind. Yes, you'll see people eating maybe insects or chicken feet or liver or some animal. You might see someone eating a dog or a cat and yuck, you'll go. Some other people, when they see you eating beef and all that, they might have the same reaction. Okay. So please have an open mind, open attitude. And remember, you're not the center of the universe. India or Indians or Indian religion or Indian culture is not the center of the universe. And last, and that is why I told you in this point, make new friends, learn new things. And last, if not the least, is you have to get out of your comfort zone. Okay. And by that, I'm not just talking about migrating to a new country or meeting new people. You have to constantly push the envelope of learning new things, reading new things, training yourself in a new way, learning how to push the boundaries. Let's say you're earning, let's say, for example, you're earning, say, 8 euros an hour, okay, or $8 an hour. You need to push yourself. How can I earn $9 an hour? How can I get $10 an hour? And when you ask these questions repeatedly, again and again and again, your mind will be obsessed about the answer, and eventually you find. And for that, you need to get yourself a mentor, a coach, a guide, or someone who you can learn skills from. And for that, you maybe need to work under him for free or give him so much of value where he decides, fine, I'll teach you. And that involves you getting out of your comfort zone. You cannot go abroad, oh, I will work 8 hours and I'll have a balanced life, I'll relax. They might work 8 hours and they would want to take time off and be with your friends. You have to work your ass off. You have to work maybe twice, 3 times, 10 times harder than them. And that is one of the reasons why the Indians the first generation Indians who go abroad, whether to USA or Australia, anywhere, the reasons why they succeed is because they work harder than anyone, they push themselves beyond anyone else, and they don't live that, so-called balanced life, which people talk, oh, quiet quitting or relax, and there should be a balanced life between family. No. You're going there to work like a dog, prove yourself, succeed. Otherwise, you're going to be replaced. So, so these are the points that I would give you, and just understand this much. This is the last point before I conclude. Reading books, anyone and everyone can read books. Listening to a podcast, any and everyone can do that. Watching YouTube videos, taking up a course from Udemy or Skillshare or whatever, anyone and everyone can do that. You're not in a competition to just get more knowledge, read more, or get more certifications. Practical application of what you know, practical application, and being able to sell that service is what will help you survive. So if you read 100 books and you get knowledge of 100 books versus one guy who learns a skill, knows how to implement this creatively and sell it for money, that the latter will succeed and become something in life. The former will only brag about it, talk about it, chat about it, appear to be smart, but will not, there'll be no change in his life. So these are the bits of advice that I would want to give you. And yeah, if anything else, I would tell the youngsters, especially our Indians, stay away from social media. This chatting, this talking, this gossiping. I know you'll be like, hey, aren't you telling people not to be on social media? Wouldn't that harm you? Well, you want me to give you proper advice, right? Being online, you're going to waste your time. Whether chatting, whether gaming, whether watching videos, is not going to feed you. Switch it all off. Keep that smartphone away. Work with your hands and earn money. That's the only way you're going to grow. Anyway, this is the advice I would give any young man or any Indian or young woman for that matter. Let me know what do you think. Do you agree, disagree with what I have to say? And yeah, comment down below. I'll definitely read it. Any questions, feel free. Let me know what they are. If I know, I will definitely answer them. You guys take care. This is me signing off.